Happy Vlogmas Day 13. We are gonna head to Flushing to do some groceries. I want to go to Daiso to pick up some cotton pads because I ran out. And then we're just gonna head home, cook something for dinner. Just gonna keep it really chill. Because literally I stayed up until 3 a.m. so tired. And tomorrow we're gonna go out to the city doing holiday stuff. Yeah, I'll see you in a little bit. Here's my OOTD. Ralph Lauren hats, high intrigues set. And these lights I can never remember the brand. Party Mari. Then my vintage Burberry trench coat, it's padded with my warm. And then a Proenza Schouler bag. So cute. Okay, let's go. We're in Flushing. This is the Skyview Mall. There's a Uniqlo, Marshalls. We're gonna try this Sichuan restaurant called Suchu. Next spot. We're here for some egg tarts, but it looks empty. Oh, we're right here. Okay, so these are the only ones that they have. It's called German pudding egg tarts. I want traditional Chinese style though. Okay. I made a Tesla Live because they closed down all of the Daiso. Is that the ones they have? It comes in like a roll. So otherwise they have these. They're quite expensive, $5 for two. And then this one. These are cotton puffs, like thin ones. Padded. I decided to go for these two. Okay, we found it. This is traditional. And this is more like a Portuguese style. We found the tarts. Japanese pomelo. We got pork belly, squid, 2 bags of frozen shrimps. Some pork bone, a taro, mushrooms, bean sprout, cucumber, cilantro lettuce, Japanese, no, this is Chinese celery, and then a lot of sweet potatoes, and then this is mustard greens. Hey you guys, I'm back at home and I've been in the kitchen. We just put away dishes, made some rice because the lunch was a huge portion, so we have plenty for leftovers, so that's what we are going to have for dinner later today. We've been snacking, we've got boba, egg tarts. When we were in Flushing, and now I'm making another kind of like snack dessert. It's glutinous rice balls stuffed with mung bean. I have done this a few times, but I've never found a recipe. So I'm gonna walk you through the process so far. I'm not going to show you everything because I'm still experimenting. I don't have a recipe that I could share. I just watched a few popular YouTube videos to kind of have an idea in terms of measurements and steps. Growing up, I would always admire how do people do that, and I think about making it. Unless I start making it, then things just are a lot harder in your head somehow. But once you do it, it's actually very simple and easy. And instead of kneading your dough with your hands because you're dealing with glutinous rice flour, I like to pick up these bags. It's very affordable at Asian grocery stores. Don't buy it at American grocery stores because you are paying triple the price or sometimes a lot more expensive if you buy them online. Yeah, try to find these. So then I use my Kitchenaid and I use the dough hook to mix it, and then I use warm water and one tiny steamed sweet potato. I bought a mixture of a few sweet potatoes. I've got a taro. This is a lot, so my dish won't probably need that much. And then I got potato, and this is like 2 different types. This one's the orange color. This one has a white creamish color. This one is Japanese sweet potato. I don't know what the name of this. So I basically steamed the small one until soft, and I add into the dough. And that's one of the tricks that I learned from the aunties and just watching a lot of people online. They mix it with their glutinous rice dough mixture, the dough. So later on it helps keep the balls very soft and chewy for a couple of days. Like it won't be hardened, and it helps with the texture and the integrity of the texture of the ball. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly. This is the first time I added a sweet potato in it, but I've heard in the past that a lot of people do that as well. So I've just let my dough sit in this. It's still slightly warm to the touch, so it's the same concept as you making, you know, bread and stuff like that. You should let your dough kind of chill for a little bit in a closed lid container so then it could relax. This is what I have so far. I'm going to knead it with my hands for 5 minutes before I start doing anything else, but now I just want to cover it to keep the dough moist. And I just measured out about 400 grams of palm sugar. So this is how much you're gonna need. It's a lot of sugar. This is the brand that I use. So each of this is about 50 grams, almost 50 grams. Then I'm gonna make that sugary syrup with a lot of ginger. Forgot to pick up ginger, but my partner went to the local bodega to pick up some ginger for me. So I made sure to peel it really well. I'm gonna use a lot of ginger because I love mine to be super gingery. And then we'll add into the sugar syrup for the ball to sit in. Again, if you're just experimenting like me, I don't really put too much pressure. If it turns out good, then great. I craved it so much, and it's very hard to come across good ones. Like those that are sold at Chinese grocery stores that sometimes I see, they don't make it like the way I'm used to growing up in Vietnam. Here I have a steaming pot, and then I use the cheesecloth to help the mung bean a little bit more moisture. So what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to transfer it over to this clean pot. So this is the mung bean. You can easily find these at any Chinese grocery stores. I got it from Tân Tin Hưng. Yeah, you can also boil it. Treat it as a grain as long as you cook it well and add enough water. So this is one of my favorite spatula to cook, to bake, and to do things with because it's flexible and the edge is so thin. So what I'm doing now is just mushing it down. People add some coconut milk into this just so it has that coconutty flavor. You can also make this slightly savory. I've seen people done it with green onion and pepper. I'm gonna keep it kind of casual and light. So just do some sugar and then a pinch of kosher salt. And then we're just gonna work this, turn it into a paste, like a fine paste. I think I'm gonna turn up the heat and keep it on really low. After a little bit of time, I finally got it into a fine paste. You can see there are still like tiny clumps. It's because I don't cook with mung bean a lot, so I don't have experience. But with mung bean, it's so forgivable. You can bite on a little bit of the texture, it's fine too, but as long as you get into this fine paste. And we are going to roll them into little balls. Next, I'm gonna slice up my ginger. It's like this. Julienne. Okay, now I'm gonna roll the mung bean paste into balls. To this size.
Another fair relationship, guess it's back to situationships. Till this old dying soul feels half alive. Look for opportunity from East LA to Tennessee, and I hope it comes by 2025. There's a four-way stop on a one-way road, and that 210 view never felt like home. If this is truly meant for me, why the
Okay, right now I am just kneading the dough for about 5 more minutes. I think this looks good to me. Going to measure out my mung bean ball to see how much it weighs. It's about 30 grams. 37, 36.
Never felt like home. If this is truly meant for me, why the hell am I still out here waiting? Don't know why the city lights don't shine on me. Break my back and grind my teeth for a paycheck. It's all I'm meant to be, just stuck in the in-between.
It is so crazy how things work out. I got 20 balls of mung beans, 20 mung bean balls, and then 21 dough balls. These are glutinous rice balls with some sweet potato mixed in it. And here's the plan. I'm going to test out because I measure, this is about 30 grams of mung bean paste, and then this is about 40 grams of the dough. Around there, the idea is that you do want to flatten this and kind of like making a dumpling, but you do want to make sure that there's no air inside between, you know, your ball when you form it. So you're basically just flatten up this ball of dough, and then try your best to enclose the mung bean ball inside. And then the leftover dough, you can pinch it out, use it to make these tiny mochi balls. As you can see, I know 40 grams is a little bit too much, so you basically just pinch the extra dough on the sides. Just try your best to like make sure that there's no air inside, and then you just use your hand to form it back into a ball. I could feel there's like some air in here, but I think it will get better with practice. Make sure there's no uneven seams or cracks. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I think this is going to be so good. Say about 35 grams of dough would have been perfect, but I think I like having the little bit of something to pinch off. Look at, oh, I'm so excited. Last ball. This leftover dough here is to see. I'm going to roll them into tiny little mochi ball. Let me transfer these over to the tray. Now they are so big that they can only fit 3 by 4. So beautiful. If you see any crack, you can also roll it back again. I'm going to start a pot of boiling water, and then I'll add a tablespoon of sugar, and then we'll blanch the balls. But at the same time, I'm going to start my gingery syrup to cook the balls in. So I'm gonna start 2 pots. We are going to do 1.2 liter, that's 4 cups of water. And then 200 more. Here I also have some toasted peanuts. We'll use it as a topping. Now I'm gonna add in about 400 grams of palm sugar and just let it melt. All of the ginger. I also like to add in a pinch of salt. For the leftover dough, you can also roll them into logs and cut them however big or small that you like. Kind of making boba. And then quickly roll them into balls. Pot of boiling water. We are going to blanch our balls. Probably 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, it's very light. I have dark brown sugar, so I'm gonna do 1/4 of a cup. Just so it helps adding the colors to this. Because in Vietnam, people use palm sugar that is very dark in color. And mine's very light and I want it to be kind of dark. Yep, this is definitely going to help me achieve that. It's been 2 minutes. I'm gonna transfer my balls from this pot over and let it continue cooking in this sugary syrup. Second round. And then we'll let this cook on the stove for 10-15 more minutes, again at low heat, until the balls all float to the top. I'm gonna transfer these little mochi balls over as well. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is probably the best thing that I ever made. Like the best attempt as well. You guys, look at this. Okay, you guys, we are not done yet, but I'm going to eat dinner really quick and then I'll make a coconut sauce to go on top. Basically just salt, sugar, and a little bit of cornstarch slurry to help thicken up the sauce. And then for topping, we're going to do toasted sesame seeds, which I have left over from the other day when I made the udon. And then crushed up peanuts. These are freshly toasted on the pan. Okay, I'm gonna show you how everything comes together at the end, but I won't be able to talk to you then. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching and make sure to subscribe and enter my giveaway. See you tomorrow. Bye.